Namaste and welcome, future Java champions. I am so excited to have you here today. Have you ever wondered how your beautiful Java objects connect with traditional databases? Well, today, we are going to unravel that mystery with something called Hibernate ORM fundamentals. In this 5-minute animated whiteboard tutorial, we will explore what object relational mapping is, why it is so crucial, and how Hibernate helps us bridge the gap between our Java applications and relational databases. We will cover core concepts like entities, sessions, and basic data persistence. By the end of this session, you will have a solid foundational understanding to start your journey with Hibernate. So, grab your virtual notebooks, and let us dive right in. Alright, so what exactly is this object relational impedance mismatch? Imagine you are building a magnificent house with Lego bricks, which are your Java objects. Each brick has its own shape and properties. But then, you need to store your house plans in a filing cabinet, which is your relational database. This cabinet stores information in rigid tables with rows and columns. How do you translate your flexible Lego house into a structured filing system? This difference in how Java sees data as objects and how databases see data as tables is the impedance mismatch. It is like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Object relational mapping, or ORM, is the magical bridge that helps us convert our Java objects directly into database table rows and vice versa, without writing tons of manual structured query language. Hibernate is one of the most popular and powerful tools that implements this ORM concept. Now, how do we tell Hibernate that a specific Java class should be mapped to a database table? This is where our first core concept, the entity, comes into play. An entity is simply a plain old Java object, or POJO, that represents a table in your database. To make a class an entity, we use a special annotation at entity. This annotation tells Hibernate, hey, this class, for example, student, is something you need to manage and persist in the database. And every database table needs a primary key, right? For that, we use the @id annotation on one of our fields, typically an identifier like student ID. This marks that field as the primary key for the corresponding table. It is like giving each Lego brick a unique serial number so we can always find it. Let us look at a simple example. Here, we have a simple student class. Notice how we have added @entity at the class level and @id above the ID field. This student class is now ready to be managed by Hibernate. To actually save this student object into our database, we follow a few steps. First, we need to configure Hibernate, which involves setting up details like database connection information. Then, we obtain a session factory, which is like a factory for database sessions. From the session factory, we open a session. Think of a session as a temporary conversation with the database. Within this session, we need to start a transaction. A transaction ensures that all our database operations either succeed completely or fail completely, maintaining data integrity. Finally, we use the session.persist method, passing our student object to save it. After persisting, we commit the transaction and close the session. It is a simple yet powerful workflow. While Hibernate simplifies a lot, there are a few common mistakes beginners often make. One major pitfall is forgetting to manage your transactions properly. If you do not explicitly commit a transaction after performing operations like saving or updating data, your changes will simply not be saved to the database. It is like writing a letter but forgetting to mail it. Another common error is not closing your Hibernate session and session factory. These are heavy resources, and leaving them open can lead to resource leaks and performance issues. Always remember to use a try-catch finally block to ensure your session is closed, even if an error occurs. This is a crucial best practice for robust application development and efficient resource management. Always be mindful of your transaction boundaries and resource cleanup. And that brings us to the end of our rapid introduction to Hibernate ORM fundamentals. Today, we learned about the object relational impedance mismatch and how Hibernate acts as an amazing object relational mapping tool. We explored how to define an entity using the @, entity and @id annotations, making our Java objects database aware. We also walked through the basic steps of saving an object using session transaction and the persist method. Finally, we discussed common mistakes like uncommitted transactions and unclosed sessions, along with best practices to avoid them. Remember, practice is key. Try creating your own simple Java application with Hibernate. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting Java programming content. Keep coding, keep learning, and I will see you in the next video. Jai Hind. Victory to India. A common Indian closing remark for encouragement.